one to the right. No backs behind the quarterback. See if they blitz here. Faisal in trouble again, and he'll be taken down. Trevor Nickerson with a second straight sack. And he comes up with another big play. And Hofstra having their problems right now trying to hold out that front four.
That's the problem right there. When you start to run the games, then you can go people one-on-one. Trevor Nickerson just does an excellent job that time. He fakes the game, and he beats the offensive lineman one-on-one straight up the middle.
Try to pick up who he's matched up against, but he is having some success against that offensive line. Faisal has the signal on 3rd and 37. Doesn't want to throw an interception here. 6 defensive backs in the game. Faisal will throw up the middle. It'll be picked off by number 97, Darrell O'Shea, the middle linebacker. And O'Shea taken down. However, there is a flag on the play. The junior from Buffalo, who's the number 2 tackler, coming up with his first interception of the year. And let's wait for the call by referee Nelson.
Well, right now you see Wayne Morris out there. He knows that he was held. It's going to go against Buffalo, and a costly mistake.
Defensive holding is the call. And Hofstra will get another down here. And, of course, in professional football, it's an automatic first down defensive holding. We'll find out what's going to happen here. Here's the call from referee Nelson.
Holding before the change of possession during a live ball pass on the defense, first down.
My, oh my, Sam Sanders can't believe it.
You hate to see that. 3rd and 37 and a holding, a mental mistake. The pressure was there up front. Linebacker made an excellent break on the ball for the interception, and a big mistake. You know, turns it back over to Hofstra.
So scratch the O'Shea interception. Talking to the coaching staff of Hofstra, they were very impressed with O'Shea. Faisal having trouble picking up the signs from the sideline. Jim Crane flashes the signs. The receiver coach. Now 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. Faisal on the 1st and 10 from the 43. Spun around and taken down again. This time John Canistero gets his second sack. And the Hofstra offensive line, shades of New Hampshire here, having all kinds of problems in this first quarter with this heavily underdog but fired up Buffalo team, which has certainly played Hofstra on an equal footing in this first quarter.
Well, the one thing, Barry, anytime that you can run stunts and you're successful, you're going to free yourself up to run man-on-man straight up. And that's what they're doing to Hofstra right now. The defensive line of Buffalo, they're playing excellent. They're getting excellent penetration, but they're keeping everybody guessing.
Mike Pasquello, who has been the anchor, perhaps their most consistent offensive lineman, has been having some problems with Nickerson on that side. And Canistero, delay of game appears to be the call. And they're set back again. It'll be 2nd down and 23 from the 36-yard line.
Well, Barry, I asked Joe Gardy this week. I said, every time that we do one of your games at night,
2nd down.
We see the quarterbacks. They have a hard time picking up the signal. Is it because of the visor? Right now, every time we look out, we see George Faisal. He's raising his helmet, whether he's sweating or the perspiration's there. He's not getting the calls quick enough.
2nd and 23 from the 31-yard line. Faisal has time. Up the middle, he's got a wide open Scott Millington, but underthrows him. There were 5 white shirts in the area, but Millington was open, but the ball underthrown.
And right there we saw Rich Dabo. He faked the rush on the corner and dropped back off for the short pass in the flats.
If you recall, when we were talking to Joe Gardy earlier this week, he said he was very impressed with the schemes of Buffalo, even though last year Hofstra beat them 44-0. They've since lost that defensive coordinator who's back in pro football, but they seem to be troubling Hofstra tonight with their defensive schemes.
Well, right now they're winning the battle in the trenches up front, both offensively and defensively.
3rd and 23 from the 31. 2 minutes ago here in the first quarter, Hofstra by 7. Quick pass out of the backfield, complete, and Cox, or rather the receiver Ray Barberite, shoved right down by Mark Anderson. Barberite making his first appearance of the season. He's been out with a separated shoulder and missed the first 4 games. Don Shohana, number 40, with a hard hit. And Hofstra will have to punt here. Ben Pitcher, who had punted poorly last week, standing back at the 20-yard line. Pitcher punted for about 27-yard average last week. One of the few things Hofstra did poorly last week. Matt Pelowitz is the single safety back at the 21-yard line. They've got 10 men up at the line. Let's see if they come here. And the whistle blows again. Hofstra going to be called for another delay of game. Those mental mistakes here adding up. So it'll be 4th and 23, and they'll move the football back to the 29-yard line. Well, Marty, Buffalo certainly has come down here to play some football. They may be 0-3 and may have come off a loss against Westminster, an NAIA team, but they're playing more like they did against Lafayette.
On the offense, 4th down.
In the opening ball game when they played Lafayette tough for 3 quarters.
And you see the respect that Hofstra is giving Buffalo now. On 3rd and long, they throw an out pattern in the flats. They didn't even try to pick up the 1st down. They just wanted to build some more confidence in George Beisel to say, hey, George, it's not your fault. The guys up front are getting beat. We're going to get this stuff straight.
Buffalo again with 10 men at the line. Are they coming? They are. And pitcher gets it away. End-over-end kick. Fair catch called by Pelowitz. There is a flag back by the kicker pitcher. And they be either running into the kicker or roughing the kicker. A 35-yard punt, no return. I don't know if Sam Sanders is going to kill himself if this is going to keep Hofstra with possession once again on this penalty. But we'll wait for officials to confirm. It was definitely where the pitcher kicked, and he's smiling right now. The freshman backup quarterback. He's the number 3 quarterback listed.
Running into the kicker on the defense is declined by Hofstra. First down, Buffalo.
Rob Nelson with already 8 penalties to call in this first quarter. It would have only been a 5-yard walk-off anyway. If it was roughing, it would have been a different story.
And Joe Carty knew that Buffalo, they were bringing 10 people. The Bulls, they're coming every opportunity that they get. Here we see the rush. Pitcher gets off. Number 25 comes in a little late. He got blocked into it. That's why it was only running into the kicker.
Scott with time. And Deakins all over the intended receiver. It goes incomplete as the pass was intended for number 83, or 33, Ray Hobson. Let's go to Carl Reuter down on the field.
Barry, on the Buffalo sideline, you're looking at Sam Sanders. Now, he's the head coach. The reason he's sitting and he sits the entire game, he had an injury coming out of the University of Buffalo, and then his days with the Bills. He had a bad leg injury. He has trouble walking, but we will have him over here, as procedure would have it. If Buffalo is trailing, they'll bring him over in a golf cart at halftime. We will get to hear from him. The other thing to keep an eye on is George Beisel, the quarterback at Hofstra, Barry, because he's been having trouble seeing through that Darth Vader face mask. It's been a little bit too dark. They're working on getting him another one so he can see a lot more clear, and I think he's better the way the defensive line of Buffalo is busting in on the offensive line of Hofstra. Barry?
I'll look at George Beisel, banged up. He has a hematoma of the lower abdomen. He's got the bad leg from a couple of weeks ago. Of course, the hand problem. This guy is a gutsy kid, but he's been banged up pretty good last few weeks.
And he had all those problems. He's for over 500 yards. I think some coaches they wish their quarterback did have those problems.
Ray Hobson picked up 3 yards on that last run. As again, they try that play with the wing coming around from the left side, running to the right side, and Hobson ran it effectively a couple of times. Big 3rd and 7 play from the 38-yard line for the Bulls, who are playing like the Bills of Buffalo so far tonight. Trailing Hofstra 7-0. Fake, and Scott rolling left. He's got a blocker out there. He's got 5. Can he get the first down? Runs out of bounds, close to the marker, and appears to have it up and around the 45-yard line. So Scott showing his ability to run the football, run out by Pat Shanahan, but not before he apparently picked up enough yardage for the first down. He had one of his big blockers, Jason Solinsky, out there, number 72, leading the way.
Well, the one thing Scott did right there, Barry, he made the decision. As soon as he saw no receivers open, he was going to run the ball. And he saw where the yard markers were, and he made sure he got past that far one.
17 seconds to go, first quarter. 1st and 10 for Buffalo. Scott throwing high off of Knapp's hand as he went up. Varick Boyd covering. It'll set up a second down play with 12 seconds to go. And we mentioned he has a live arm, Cliff Scott. And the one problem, as we mentioned, he's a very cocky, poised kid, a quick learner, they tell us. He's going to get better, is that they sometimes try to force it once too often.
And there was a perfect example. His receiver had double coverage. He tried to force the ball in. The Anytime you force the ball in, it's going to come out a little hard and a little high.
Single set back his bell again, that double wing formation. Hobson coming in motion. Bell behind Hobson. Trying to go outside, run down beautifully. Jeff Brown, the man in the middle with 4.6 speed, showing it there. Brown, who had 13 tackles last week and a sack against Post.
End of the quarter.
And that's the story. Quarter, and in a bit of a surprise, Hofstra leads Buffalo only by a score of 7-0.
Okay, Brad. You know, you don't have to be a winner here on LK Sports Batter Up to start collecting your own mug, sign, plate, and mini plates with all your favorite baseball stars.
LK Sports has made it possible for you to own these unique sports collectibles bearing the picture of one of dozens of your favorite stars from their LK Sports Baseball Star Series. Order one of our beautiful baseball mugs or one of these handsome steins. Both mugs and steins come complete with players' pictures on the front and signatures and important statistics on the back. These 4 1/4-inch mini plates are perfect for collecting or gift giving. Or how about these 8.5-inch plates from our Power Hitter Series, complete with distinctive 22-karat gold flourishes. All LK Sports Star Series gifts are crafted ceramic ware, decorated with deluxe artwork. Order any 2 items today and receive this giant sports bottle thirst quencher for free, a $6.99 value. Call this toll-free number now for ordering information and start collecting today.
Barry Landers, Marty Lyons call Rotor back at Hofstra Stadium on a beautiful night. Temperature in the 70s, and Buffalo University coming up with a solid effort in this first quarter. They trail 7-0, and they've had the stats in their favor. They've outgained Hofstra 89 to 43 yards so far. Hofstra's been sacked 4 times, Marty Lyons.
Well, the one thing is the points on the scoreboard, though.
3rd and 10 right now for Cliff Scott, who has done a good job so far. 4 for 6 to 64 yards. Has time, overthrows the intended receiver. Rusty Knapp. Defending on the play was Salgado and Javinsky. And that's Van Lyxen, a Hofstra supporter. So Hofstra coming up with the big play on 3rd down. And we'll have a punt coming up for the first time from Doug Radwanski, averaging about 36 yards a kick this year. He's done a good job. Big improvement over last year when he averaged only 32 yards a kick. Hofstra not coming with much of a rush here. They've got 3 men deep. Cox will take it at the 17. Cox trying to spin away. He does from a couple of tacklers. Down the rough sideline, and he runs into Radwanski, who tackles him and takes him down. Oh, but Mark Cox so excited when he gets his hands on the football.
Every time we see him play, he makes a big play like that. Right there, he's caught up in all kind of traffic, and he still returns the ball for 28 yards.
And it was the punter who finally brought him down. A 38-yard punt and a 28-yard return for Mark Cox.
There it is. Now, Buffalo has excellent coverage on him. Right here, they've got 3 people around. There was almost a clip there. Mark Cox, he keeps his feet moving. As soon as he gets by that first line of defense, then he picks up nothing but positive yards.
And the punter takes him down with a pretty good tackle there. And we saw a good block by Bicchetti, 39, at the beginning of that return. So here's Millington in motion. Hofstra with 3 wide receivers to the near side. Cox back in as the running back. They give it to Cox. Quick hole. He's got 7. And look at, he's rammed right back there. Hit hard by Billy Stonecipher, the senior out of Sayville High School, who was a teammate in high school of Coach Gardy's son, who's now playing at Brown. And Joe Gardy knows the family very well. Billy Stonecipher, their leading tackler.
And he says he works out with Stonecipher every year. Joe Gardy tries to help every kid that comes out of high school to get into a college, not just to play football, but to get an education.
There are 3 or 4 players from Sayville on this Buffalo team. You see Beisel has taken off the visor, and Hal is able to see, I'm sure, a lot clearer at the sideline. Screen pass intended, batted down. Number 48, Rich Dabo, who had a big sack earlier. Steve Oblandi was the intended receiver. And Dabo, who's a 100%er, and bounced back from some serious injuries. Last year, Marty, he played 3 games with his forearm and right hand severely bandaged.
Well, right here, Dabo gets excellent penetration. If he calls the quarterback to pull down the ball, it's a sack. As a result, he got close enough where he got his hand up, knocked the ball down.
3rd and 4 from the 47 for Hofstra. 2 wide receivers to the left and to the right. They'll keep it on the ground. A Cox flag on the play. Cox has the first down and more. He may go. And pulled down from behind inside the 25 at the 23 by Darrell O'Shea. But let's hold everything and let's see if they bring it back. No, it's apparently going to be against Buffalo. Hofstra applauding.
Offsides. Defense. Declined. First down.
Another mental mistake by Buffalo.
Right now, Buffalo is playing an excellent game. Their offensive and defensive line are playing great. They can't make costly mistakes like that.
24-yard pickup for Mark Cox, who's now run the football 3 times for 41 yards. Cox staying in as the single setback. He's offset to the right, as you see. Faisal rolling right. Stepping up, throwing, complete to Morris, 15. And drives to around the 13-yard line. It'll be enough for the first down. Wayne Morris with his first reception as Don Shahana stopped him, number 40.
Well, right there we see Coach Sanders talking to Scott saying, hey, relax. We're playing good. We're still in this game. Everybody anticipated us being out of the game after the first quarter. We're playing well.
Wayne Morris, who came into this ball game with 36 receptions for over 430 yards, his first reception of the day. Faisal, quick pitch. Cox stood up and rammed right back after maybe a yard gain. Again, it was Don Shahana, the sophomore, number 40, with another tackle. And he's made some good plays here in this first half. Strong tackler. No gain on the play, so let's call it 2nd and 10 from the 13. Hofstra leading 7-0. Cologne and Oblandi will line up as wide receivers. Morris and Cologne to the near side, and now they send a man in motion, Millington. Cox, 5, touchdown. The amazing Mark Cox coming up with his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. Overall, his 6th touchdown, and the Hofstra fans enjoying Mr. Mark Cox.
And that's the one thing that this run and shoot will do. You got 4 receivers to one side, or 3 to one side, 2 to the other. You're spreading the field. Mark Cox just takes the ball, runs straight up the middle for an easy touchdown of 13 yards.
Sank in the holder for Olshansky. He'll try to make it a 14-0 ball game. Splits the uprights, and Hofstra, with 12:31 to go in the second quarter, takes a 14-0 lead. Marty, I'm surprised that Hofstra hasn't run more against this team because they had a terrible rushing defense coming in Buffalo. They had been averaging close to 6 yards carry. Opponents had been rushing against them.
And they've got 4 excellent running backs, guys that run the ball with authority. Here we look at it. Mark Cox just takes the ball. It's a trap play right up the middle, and he runs 13 yards. He keeps his legs moving, and he runs with authority, and he runs strong.
Nice trap block by the guard, Dave Barr, 62, who played a great game last week. Kind of interesting. Patrick Orr had replaced him in the starting lineup, got hit for a couple of holding penalties. And the coaching staff said, Manny Matsakis, the offensive coordinator, if you're going to get a holding penalty, you're coming right out of the game. It gave a chance for Barr to get back in. He says, I'm not losing my starting job now. And he played a great game.
And that's a hard way to play when you have the pressure of saying, hey, I'm going to go out there and try as hard as I can, but if I make one mistake, I'm going to find myself on the pine.
And right now, Hofstra finds itself with a 14-0 lead. But, boy, you've got to like the way Buffalo came out here, and just some mental mistakes. And that was a drive that Mark Cox, with a return, set it up, and he finished it off, Marty, with
well,
a beautiful
we saw
run.
in the game last week against C.W. Post, Hofstra and C.W. Post, they played well for the first 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden, Hofstra warmed down, scored 24 unanswered points. Buffalo right now, they're playing well. The only thing keeping Buffalo off the scoreboard, mental mistakes.
Olshansky to kick off. The Hofstra crowd up on their feet. End over end kick. Bell will take it at the 12. Tries to get outside and will be taken down on the far side. Initially, number 51, Mark Thurman, slowed him up, and it allowed, let's see, Joey Driver, number 38 over there, and also number 43 on the play, Chris Rossetti, the backup middle linebacker. I'll tell you, when you play on special teams, it's your moment to shine. You must be itching. If you're not a starter, Marty, and he rarely uses starters on the special teams, you just come out there, and this is my chance.
Well, the one thing you have to realize, Barry, if you're on the special teams, you're a starter, because the special teams, they're a separate team.
Good point. It is your opportunity out there to shine. They send a man in motion, fullback, Polanski. Little play action here. Scott, open is Polanski. Has it at the 40, and the bruising fullback takes a couple of guys to around the 48-yard line. A pickup of 27 yards on the play before Joe Rizzo finally brought him down. Polanski, a big boy at 6'1", 210. Not known for his speed or being a great receiver, but he really showed good hands and a good running ability after catching the ball.
And the one thing Scott's doing, he's getting plenty of time by his young offensive lineman to throw the ball. Right here, he drops back. He's got plenty of time. He sets his feet. He releases the ball. He's got a great arm. Polanski's out there. He splits the defender, picks up enough for a first down, and then some.
Hofstra has been giving up a lot of passing yardage this year. On the draw play, Bell. He's got the first down inside the 40, around the 38-yard line, run down by Jeff Brown. And Buffalo continuing to move the ball. They did at times effectively in the first quarter. And their first drive here in the second quarter has brought them inside the 38. As we see Mark Cox. And it was Cox's big 13-yard run that capped that six-play, 54-yard drive, a little over 2 minutes. Set up, of course, by the punt return by Mr. Cox. And right now, Buffalo on the drive with first and 10 at the 38-yard line. Hobson in motion. Fake play action. They got time. Scott, incomplete. Rushap had Barrett Boyd wrapped up right around him. And Scott threw it a little bit to the outside. Couldn't come up with it. Sets up a second down play.
And there's a perfect example of how strong his arm is, Barry. He should just loft that ball in there. The receiver made an excellent break. He's got the defender beat, but you can't zip that kind of a pass in there.
Knapp has shown, as you pointed out earlier, Marty, on his 3 receptions, excellent cutting ability. Again, the double wing, single setback. Scott with a quick drop. Knapp inside the 15 or 25. Could not hold on. Barrett Boyd hit him between the numbers there. And Billy Deakins putting a little pressure on the quarterback.
Well, Boyd's been taking it from his teammates the last couple of weeks. He gave up a couple big plays, but now he's making the plays. He's got excellent coverage on the receiver. He comes in with the left hand and breaks up the pass.
Excellent play by Boyd, who been called toast by his teammates. They said he'd been toasted out there in the field, but he's taken it in the right frame of mind and has come back strong tonight. 3rd and 10 for Scott. Has time again. Throwing deep down the sideline for Hobson. Deakins with the coverage and no interference there. Deakins looked like he was face guarding him. Had turned around on the play. It'll be a 4th down play here, and Deakins looking back at the official, say, "Thank you, official."
Well, that's the difference between college and NFL, because that would have been face guarding in the NFL, because the defenders, Billy Deakins, he doesn't make an effort to turn around and look for the ball. Right there, that should almost been pass interference.
First punt from Radwanski was 35 yards. Cox, of course, returned to 28. Standing back at midfield. He kicks it away from Cox down the sideline. Takes a crazy bounce and goes into the end zone. Looked like it was heading out of bounds at around the 7-yard line. Would have been a great kick. But then it took a bounce into the end zone. And Hofstra will get it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Billy Deakins. What a season he's had, this young man from nearby Garden City, a transfer from Union, who joined the club last year, was a sub to the great Larry Brady, and this year has come into his own as a potential All-American. So Hofstra takes over 1st and 10, as you see, Billy. 10:59 to go. First quarter. George Beisel has thrown a touchdown pass, a 3-yarder, to Kenny Colon, and Mark Cox with a touchdown run of some 13 yards. That's the scoring. Walter Olshansky adding the extra points. As you look at George Beisel out of Philadelphia, last week, ECAC Division I AA Player of the Week with his record-shattering 507 yards. Pitch to Hagowski, that shovel pitch, and that is a dangerous play. It didn't work that time. They had it well diagnosed. And O'Shea, that good-looking middle linebacker, number 97, wrapped up Hagowski there.
Well, that's the one thing you can do with the run and shoot. You tell your middle linebacker, stay at home, key on that remaining back. O'Shea does an excellent job.
So 2nd and 10 from the 20. No gain on that last play. George Beisel, 7 for 10, 36 yards only, and 1 touchdown. Boy, they got double pressure, and ball batted down by big number 97, O'Shea, at 6'2", 225. He's playing the middle beautifully. But they used 2 men to take out Richie Didabo, number 48, who was putting pressure from the left side, as you'll see, perhaps. See the 2 blockers there?
And right here, all he has to do, all George Beisel has to do is loft that ball. He's got Wayne Morris wide open in the middle of the field.
Beisel, who came in 55.8 completion percentage, not having the day, of course, that he had last week. On 3rd and 10 from the 20. Morris in motion. Beisel in trouble, chased by Didabo, who got great speed. Can Beisel run to the sideline? He shoved hard. I'll tell you, Darrell O'Shea with a heavy hit. Beisel was being chased from behind by Didabo. And again, Buffalo coming up with a big defensive play, forcing Hofstra to punt the football here.
Barry, you have to love it. Anytime you're a defensive lineman or a linebacker, and you see that quarterback scramble, and as soon as he crosses that line of scrimmage, he's no longer a quarterback, he's a running back.
Did your eyes light up when you saw that, Marty?
Exactly. Anytime that I saw him run the ball, because as soon as they cross that line, there's no more protection on roughing the quarterback.
Prelowitz and Lesmeister are back to receive the kick, standing back at the 35. Pitcher standing back at the 10. His first punt, a 35-yarder, and another delay of game against Hofstra. Second time that's happened on a punt. All right, let's hear this last play. George Beisel gets hit pretty hard. You'll see it and hear it.
Delay on Hofstra. We played it down, 4th down.
All right, thank you, referee Nelson. And now, by via videotape. Mr. O'Shea says, welcome to the turf of Hofstra.
I love it, Barry. I love seeing quarterbacks who think that they're a running back, that once they get by that line of scrimmage, and as a defensive player, you work so hard to get a nice, clean hit, and there it is.
9 men up on the line. Pitcher will get it away, gets a good one off, sails it downfield to around the 37-yard line. Prelowitz gets about 5 yards. Good coverage on the specialty team. Billy Masterson, number 35, one of the tacklers. However, we do have another flag, a 43-yard punt and a 5-yard return, as the officials confer. Anytime there's a Hofstra game, you can expect a lot of flags. We had about 27 penalties last week. The way Buffalo's holding up their hands, the penalty could be on them on the return.
12 men, illegal participation on the defense. We'll go back to the previous spot. 15 yards and a first down.
That is unbelievable. Hofstra gets the ball back and a first down. The mental mistakes killing Buffalo.
And that's the 3rd time tonight that Hofstra had the punt, but because of mistake, their offense comes back out.
Wow, somebody's going to get roasted out there. Too many men on the field, illegal participation, a 15-yarder. Sam Sanders' club has been gutty and gritty out here, but shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, the one thing they have to be pleased that they're in the game. They have to go in at halftime or get the group along the sideline and say, hey, guys, we're hurting ourselves.
And, Marty, with a young team, which Buffalo is, we talked about the youth, the freshman quarterback, a young offensive line. How much of these kind of mistakes does it take out of you as the game goes along?
As the game goes on, you realize more and more you're hurting yourself. Now if Hofstra goes down and score, you realize you gave them that 6 points.
Beisel with some time, floats it upfield, intended for Millington, picked off, and it'll be a fine interception by number 21, Kyle Lester. The Sam linebacker, who was a defensive back last year, moved to the outside linebacker, and you showed his pass ball hawking prowess right there as he picked that ball away, as that one was floated for Millington and picked off by Kyle Lester.
And as we look at it, Lester just makes an excellent break on the ball. Right there, the receiver's wide open. Beisel, he doesn't zip that one. He tries to loft it, and as a result, Lester comes in and makes the interception.
Scott on first down to throw at midfield. Wide open, Rusty Knapp tripped up inside the 30 and around the 27-yard line by Joe Rizzo. But again, Rusty Knapp with a sharp cut and wide open as he comes up with the catch.
And the one thing, Barry, this team right now, Buffalo, they don't look like an 0-3 team.
Nope.
They believe that they can beat Hofstra tonight, and that's why they're playing with the intensity that they're playing with.
Knapp with 4 catches for 54 yards. He was held to 1 catch last week. Came in with 13 receptions, their leading receiver. Hobson in motion. Handoff, fake handoff to Bell. Scott looking for Hobson and almost picked off downfield as Hofstra had a chance for the interception. And it was Tom Moore, number 36, the backup safety, who nearly picked it off on that pass intended for Ray Hobson. Clock stops with 9:22 to go here in the second quarter. Hofstra breathing a sigh of relief. As Cliff Scott has shown a very strong arm so far. Now Knapp lines up at the top of your screen. Stroman at the bottom. Kareem Stroman